What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Pancis. If it's your first time tuning in, please be sure to smash the subscribe button. If not, thanks for your continued support. Today we are going to be hopping into this 2004 Saab 9.5. A couple of you guys sent me some really awesome videos and content on trying to diagnose the OBD port. And if you guys haven't been following this channel for the last couple months, we've had an engine light on but no OBD port functionality. So today we're going to test it out based on some of the things I researched from you guys, so thank you, on how to address the situation. Hopefully we get somewhere. We're going to be doing this live on camera, so we'll see what the outcome brings us. Hopefully it's something good. Stay tuned. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, so I actually pulled down the OBD port and I started reading an email from an individual. His name was Fred, and he gave me the fuse position and all this stuff, and so I started just looking through the fuse box, and I pulled out a fuse. It looks like it's a 15 amp fuse here, and it is shot. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but this goes under the CD fuse, CD changer, all that stuff. And when I hardwired in the actual radio, I used power from a different power source. I used the power actually from the headlight switch, and that's how I'm powering up the positive on the radio. So it's very fascinating, and I must have tripped the wire on the original wire when I was testing it originally, who knows. But yeah, so this is the blown fuse, and I suspect it also is linking to the OBD port. So let's get a fuse. Hopefully I have one. If not, we'll go run out right now and buy one, and then put it in there and see what our engine code is, because the engine light's been on for months, few months. All right, let me go check and see if I have a 15 amp fuse. All right, moment of truth here. I don't have a 15, but I do have a 30, and since we're not using the original power outlet for the radio, etc., etc., I'm not really too concerned with having the wrong ampage. It's just going to be a little bit more powerful. Should be okay. I don't see it hurting anything. So I'm going to turn the key on now just to see if that pops. All right. Let's see if we got OBD port radio or OBD port power now. Let's hope this works. Let's plug in. And sure enough, we got OBD power going again. So let's see what our code is, our engine light. It's freaking sweet, guys. Always the little things in life. All right, I'm just using the basic Amazon special $20. All right, we got two codes. It's probably all the same. P1300. Let's check that out real quick on Google and see what that tells us our issue is. Saab 9. All right, guys. So here's a little update. I got the Tech 2 hooked up here. I still have a P110 charge air bypass valve performance problem, which is weird because we changed the bypass valve. And of course I also have the P1300, which is a random misfire detected, which could be causing a catalytic converter damage. In this case, I don't think it's damaging the catalytic converter. If it was, the engine light would be flashing. So in this case, we don't have a flashing engine light. We just have an engine light, period, which has been on for a couple months. So I don't think that's what that is. I'm just doing some reading on P1300. It could be the cassette or some plugs. So I'm gonna pull the plugs out and see what that looks like real quick. And we'll inspect everything. And then I'll also put on a new cassette. I have some spares, and see if that fixes that as well. All right, guys, so a cause for this engine light is to not have the proper plugs. And if you guys look at these plugs, they look pretty shot, and they are not NGK plugs. So there's 2 reasons why we can be getting this engine light. And I'm also, since we're here, I'm gonna run out to the store real quick and get the right plugs, but just a quick inspection of the actual cassette here. You guys can see that it looks pretty good. There are no cracks, and this thing, no cracks anywhere on the plugs, and it's made by SEM, which means it's not aftermarket, and that's a good thing. So let me run out real quick. Let's get fresh spark plugs and reinstall everything and go from there. The other thing that I'm getting is an engine light on P1100. I think it's something to do with the vacuum lines, and of course we have all brand new vacuum lines, so I'm not too sure what to do there. I know that I have this here off the boost controller, so maybe we take this out. I don't know if I did this or somebody else. I don't remember doing this myself. It's not something I would do, so maybe our boost controller has an issue, but let's plug that back in and figure it out. So stand by, stay tuned. I'm gonna run out real quick before the store closes, get the right plugs in here, and go from there. All right, boys, so I just got back from the shop here, from the store, picked up some fresh NGKs. The store almost sold me the wrong plugs once again. That probably happened on this car here, or with the current plugs, because I know, remember the previous owner, when he gave me the car, he gave me an extra cassette. He said he kept getting an engine code, and the reason why is they try to sell you these other NGK plugs that have like this laser platinum technology, and that's the nightmare of all Saabs. So if you guys can see the difference in the actual plug itself, these are the laser platinum NGKs, and I'm saying that because they make it sound so cool on the packaging, but they're terrible for Saabs. They may be good for other cars, but not Saabs. So make sure you get the right ones. They look like this, and they also come pre-gapped properly, so you don't need to worry about gapping them. Now, having one of the things that I was noticing with this car, especially after the engine light happened, it happened after I road tripped the crap out of this thing to Chicago and back. So obviously, you know, I was cruising on that trip. If you guys haven't been following the channel, I mean, I did some record times in this old Saab with 200,000 miles, right? It was like this whole thing, right? So those plugs were just probably beat to crap by the time I got back. And when I'm sitting at idle at a traffic light, or sitting in traffic, or if I'm in New York City with the car sitting at an idle, I was smelling some gas fumes inside the cabin, and obviously that check engine light came on. So my first thought was that maybe the catalytic converter were going bad, or an O2 sensor went bad, and it was just not burning all the fuel. But looking at these plugs and understanding the engine code, now that we have an OBD port working properly with a fuse, that's all it was, these plugs were not burning all the fuel properly, so it was dumping extra fuel into the intake, or excuse me, into the exhaust, and that's what was causing the fumes in the cabin. So luckily we have it addressed now. We're gonna put some fresh anti-seize on these plugs and torque everything up. So let's just hop right into it. Alright, boys, so we have everything torqued down. I think the torque spec is 18 foot-pounds. I just put it to 20 because it's not like too big of a difference. So 20 foot-pounds of torque on that. But look at this engine, guys. 204,000 miles on it. Look how clean the inside of this is. I mean, the maintenance the previous owners had on this car before I got it was just really impeccable. Just honestly, just so amazing. It's just awesome. So we got fresh plugs in there now with anti-seize, so they shouldn't have any issues. And we're gonna put the cassette back on, plug it back in, and then the other code I was getting was P0110, which has something to do with the charge bypass valve. okay, which we replaced to a brand new one, and it also has something to do with vacuum lines, which we've also replaced. So everything's been replaced, and the other thing that has to do with it is actually this sensor right here. This is the intake sensor that measures the temperature. So what I'm going to do first to start is I'm going to take this off, and we're going to clean it with some electrical cleaner, clear the codes, and see if that returns. And if it doesn't return, then problem fixed. If not, we'll do some more digging, maybe buy a new sensor. I already Googled the sensor, and it was like 30 bucks, so it's really not that big of an expense. And that's kind of like what happens with these cars over time. Like once you get out of the major maintenance repairs, i.e. fuel pump, i.e. I don't know, name something stupid, suspension components, stuff like that, you have like little sensors, 20, 30 bucks, 20, 30 bucks, 20, 30 bucks, unless you have like a mass airflow sensor or a throttle body go bad. I mean, typically, it's just always stupid little things. So it's not that big of a deal. Let's go in there, let's plug everything back in, clean that up, clear the codes now that we have an OBD port working. Thank you, all you guys who sent me some emails. You rock. You just, I don't know, I couldn't seem to find the fuse early on. It just couldn't seem to find it. So here we are, we found it, we got it going, we got it going on. Alright, let's do it. Alright, so here is this sensor. You guys can see it gets like a little oily over some time. It's just some normal intake stuff. So I'm going to get some electrical cleaner. We'll clean this thing out. Like I said, clean it up, put it back in. Should be good. Alright, she's all cleaned up. Guys, if this was an electrical problem with this sensor, I would be getting P0111, P0111 and P0112 if it was more of an electrical issue. So hopefully this does it. All right, we're gonna clear out these codes and we're gonna hope and pray that they never come back. I think we should be good, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see what happens here. All right, it says cleared. Power that off. Turn the car on. And here we go. First time, no engine light in about 3 months. 2 months. And car's running nice, actually. Smooth. You don't even feel like a single vibration in the car sitting in that, which is nice. Put that fuse in the trash. There you guys go. 204 beautiful 1,000 miles. Who says that numbers mean anything? Alright, let's go take this thing for a cruise and see how she does. Alright, so we have almost a warm temp engine, and she's been running about a few minutes. I will say, now that the car's been running with new plugs, I'm smelling less fumes in the car. I'm gonna run it real quick now on the road. Like I said, it's running good, and usually at this point with the engine light, it would come on already. That's how severe the issues were with those plugs. It would almost immediately come on with the old spark plugs there. So here we go. We're gonna give it some gas. Yeah, you guys just saw the little torque head nod there when I let go. She's running nice. She's running good. So it's actually really awesome. Like I said, driving this thing throughout the week in traffic, racing it in traffic. I mean, listen, we're driving this thing every single day, and it's awesome to have in the house, part of the fam, because it's pretty reliable at this point. And we have this thing like new. This car is pretty much like new, except for some of the flaws on the exterior paint job, and of course the fact that this thing has over 200,000 miles. It's not quite new, but it's like new. And that's what I like to coin this video as. So finally, no check engine lights. It's still off. Usually it registers, like normally if there's like a sensor issue like the P0110 with the intake manifold sensor there, like that will take maybe 200 miles or 300 miles to trigger. But the more crucial components such as the spark plugs, that was registering almost immediately because it's a more critical component of the engine combustion. So the engine system, the ECU system on this car, Trionic 7 system, will register that much quicker. So we'll see how it goes. So far, no more check engine lights. So P01300 is probably solved based on changing those plugs. And like I said earlier, don't ever buy those laser platinum inscribed NGK plugs. They're complete garbage for Saab, and if you do that, you're just giving yourself a recipe for this situation. So the previous owner must have put them in because I didn't, and I don't remember ever touching that area of the engine, which is good. And now that we have it under control, she should be good to go for another 200,000 miles, or at least another 60. Here we go, sport mode. Yeah, that was almost a red line shift like it would. I'm not completely flooring it, but I got sport mode on. 5500 shift, doing 85 miles an hour, and smooth. Not even a vibration in the steering wheel. Like I said, it's like new. So just keep changing your oil, keep changing your plugs, change whatever sensors that are failing, and once you get over the big hump of most of these things just keep going. And obviously every 100,000 miles, if you keep your Saab that long, you go through the big things, but then the big things become nothing for another 100,000 miles, right? You just have a 1,000,000-mile Saab eventually. And I suspect there'll be a lot of those in my lifetime. Maybe I'll be part of that 1,000,000-mile club. I've always thought about that, maybe renting out my Saab, but then I have other insurance liability issues if somebody were to wreck the car. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I at least really enjoyed it because we successfully solved some issues that I've been kind of letting go for the last couple months. So it's kind of nice to have it completed and knowing that the check engine light is fixed. And I knew the entire time it wasn't anything critical because it wasn't flashing, and of course the car was running pretty much normal. And now that I'm sitting at a stoplight, I'm not getting any more gas fumes in the cabin, which means those spark plugs are doing its job, burning all the fuel off that it's supposed to do, and that's awesome. So stay tuned for the next episode, guys. We got some cool content coming the next couple weeks. I am shopping some cars right now. Maybe we'll pick something up. We'll see how it plays out. But in the meantime, follow me at Kyle Pancis on Instagram. Smash the subscribe button if you haven't already, and of course like, share, and comment below because all of your feedback is awesome. I think a couple of you guys have reached out to me recently with some of your project problems, questions, so I'm really happy to help. Somebody reached out to me this morning with an engine noise, and I was able to connect them with a shop local to them to already diagnose the car without even necessarily seeing it based on the video he sent me. It was really awesome, just the power of social media and some networking. So pretty cool stuff. And yeah, man, that's what the Saab community is all about. So see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.